Good day. It is the 18th day of June, 2021. I hope you're having a good day. It's a very clear day here in Stafford, Virginia, and a warm day, but clear. As clear as not a cloud in the sky. Uh, what I'm going to do today, I've done one before on this, but I have people asking me about resume submissions, how to go about writing up your knowledge, skills, and finding out, number one, what the knowledge, skills, and abilities are for a particular job, and then how to write them up. And I've done one before on DEA and FBI. Those are fairly long. I'm going to try to keep this one much shorter because I found that people tend to listen to videos that are shorter rather than longer. So I'm going to do a short one on the Deputy U.S. Marshal's position, which is not open yet, but probably will be open. Today I just saw a short video released by OIG, the Office of Inspector General, Department of Justice, where he highlights his recommendations about significant shortcomings in judicial protection. And the key recommendation is that they hire 1,200 new deputies. So what does this mean for you? It means if you are interested in this, I'm going to look up the knowledge, skills, and abilities for you as part of this video. But take heed of them and then write how to write up your experience so that your resume is ready to go if and when they take applications. So we're going to do that right now. Okay, so here we go. This is, again, resume writing for federal law enforcement positions. I've done one before on the FBI and DEA. It was long and painful. I'm going to try to keep this one shorter. This is for a position that is not open, but might be open, and that is deputy, or probably will be open, Deputy U.S. Marshal. So, quick overview, a couple things to remember. Up through the mid-'80s, the screening was done through civil service tests. So basically, you had a high school diploma for most jobs. You came in, you took a test, border patrol agent, deputy marshal. You did well, you didn't do well. And if you did well, you'd get points added for veterans preference, and then they had a rule of 3, which they would go down from the top of the list to the bottom. Well, that has kind of been done away with. Today it's done by resume review, by comparing your stated qualifications to the educational equivalents or experience of the knowledge, skills, and abilities for the job, what they call the KSAs, knowledge, skills, and abilities. And your initial resume will determine if you're qualified for the job, and you'll be processed further. The old system, I liked it better because it measured capabilities. You could either do well or you didn't on the test. The new system measures credentials, and as you know, and as I know, and as everybody knows, some people look good on paper. Okay, the first step, list your education and GPA. And this is fairly easy, okay? This should not be difficult at all for anybody, okay? Let's say you're applying for a Deputy U.S. Marshal position at the GS7 level with no professional experience. It's not necessary to list Burger King, the car wash, or similar jobs, at all. Now, if you have a bachelor's degree with a 2.9 GPA out of a 4.0 possible, you make the best qualified list for GS7. Now, if you have a bachelor's degree without a GPA of 2.9, but you passed, you qualify as a GS5 without any experience. So this is substituting education for experience, okay? So the big question, what if I don't have a college degree, okay? Well, that is a good question, okay? Well, a high school diploma is required. You then have to show that you have at least 1 year experience in performing the knowledge, skills, that should be skills and abilities, at the inferior grade to which you're applying. Now, how will you know what the knowledge, skills, and abilities are? They're on the usajobs.gov vacancy announcement, but if they're not, let's say the job is not open right now, such as Deputy Marshal. It's not on USA Jobs. You can get them through the Office of Personnel Management, through a website that I have attached to this. And you just bring it up, and that will show you how that job is classified and what the KSAs are for that job. Okay, now this is what I did for the Marshal's job. Word for word, I put it in. And hopefully you're able to read it. If you're not, you can freeze the screen. And, I'm not going to read it for you, but I've pulled it up directly from the OPM website. And this is what they expect the GS5 or basically a GS7 to be able to do. So you read this very carefully, and then what you're going to want to do is you want to pull out the key elements from this. So you make little notes and pull out key elements. And the key elements are: use firearms and non-lethal, maintain order in court, protect judges, witnesses, and jurors, maintain custody of prisoners and transport prisoners, serve arrest warrants, serve legal documents pursuant to judicial proceedings. These are the main things that they want you to be able to do based on this. Okay? And then you write up your resume. And this is a hypothetical applicant that I've chosen or written up. But this is how it would look, supposing the person had a year of college, let's say, or no college at all, just a high school diploma. Okay. Employed as a uniformed officer with the St. Louis Police Department from 2015 to present. What does that show you? Well, it's 2021 now. You've got 6 years experience. My duties include the arrest or detention of persons charged or suspected of criminal activities by developing evidence through personal observation, interview of witnesses, victims, and suspects. I have years of experience in searching, restraining, and transporting prisoners. I've assisted federal law enforcement and other agencies in operations to locate and arrest fugitives. I've seized assets, evidence, and property from persons arrested and processed these in accordance with laws and policies. I also provide a police presence that deters criminal activity. Last year you were probably out there in the riots, and you had to protect buildings and whatnot. I'm fully trained in the use of firearms, less lethal, defensive tactics, first aid, and use of communication devices. I make frequent court appearances to testify and have extensive experience working with judges, prosecutors, and witnesses. This tells you that you have the experience that is needed and set forth, here or here. Okay, this is your experience tailored to you. Okay, which shows that you meet those requirements. Now here is example number 2. Okay, and you may or may not be able to read this. Hang on. Okay, here we go. I've been employed as a deputy sheriff of the DuPage County Sheriff's Department from 2015 to present. That's 6 years. I have a high school diploma. My duties have ranged from working in a county jail. I was responsible for receiving and processing prisoners, enforcing jail regulations and laws, transporting inmates to court and other locations. I have also performed duties in court services in which I provide security for the court, witnesses, attorneys, and observers. You work at the metal detector or in court as a bailiff. I maintain custody of prisoners in court. I've assisted with juries. I'm trained and carry firearms, left lethal, restraints, and defensive tactics, as well as communication devices. And you can also add that you've arrested fugitives, because when people turn themselves into the jail, hey, they say, I want to turn myself in. You run them. Yeah, you've got a warrant. Come on in. We process you and let you go on recognizance. Or when the police department bring in Joe Blow Porky Stroh and he's drunk, and you run him and find out he's wanted for axe murder in Minnesota, from his fingerprints or whatever, his name is actually John Smith, and he's wanted in, God knows where. That's serving a warrant and catching a fugitive. So you want to put that in there because that's important. Okay, that's very important. Okay. So some things to remember, tips to remember. Use a narrative write-up indicating that you perform most or all of the duties and the knowledge, skills, and abilities for what you're interested in. Do not use bullets or job titles only. The raters will not make any inferences or assumptions based on these. You must be specific. Now here's some examples of poorly written resumes using the same experience that I used here. This is good. This is not good. Perform patrol duties and enforce the law. Why is that not good? Because think of the DMV. When you go to the DMV, do you expect to have people who are compassionate and help you out? No. If your documents aren't ready, you want a real ID so you can get on a plane. If you don't have your stuff, they're just going to send you back. They don't care that you stood in line for 2 hours. They don't care, okay? They get paid anyway. It's not a business. So you've got to do their work for them, so to speak. So again, the ladies who, there's mostly ladies who process these, they're just going to look at this and say, well, it doesn't say he did any of this, so I'm just going to disapprove it right there. And I know a guy, and I will tell you this is true. He was a company commander in Iraq, and he got turned down for the DEA at a GS7. And there was no reason for it, but he didn't listen. He assumed that they knew what he did, and they don't. They really don't care. So you have to help them out. Number 2, deputy sheriff, 2015 to present, worked in the jail, okay, and court services. Neither tells the evaluator what you did. You need to spell it out. Very important. Okay. So there you have it. I mean, it tells you what you need to do, how to write these things up. It's not rocket science. You don't have to hire a person to do it. If you have difficulty, for free, I will help you. But what I can't do is a resume from the ground up. Okay, somebody sent me all their documents. I don't know how to do that. I don't know who you are. And, basically, I can help you word it, but I can't, if you don't have an outline of what you've done, I'm not a resume writing service. And I'll help work on your write-up, your paragraph for free. But, again, have that written out. So if you have it by bullets, I can convert it. I know how to convert it to KSAs, but yeah. So hopefully this has been somewhat helpful to you. Get to work on that, because I think they are going to hire about 1,200 people, and get yourself in shape. That's the most important thing. And those 2 things, I don't think there's a polygraph for that job. So just the background as far as I know, So hopefully it's been useful, and thank you for watching. Thank you for the kind comments. And if you know someone who would benefit from this, share this information with them so that they subscribe and I get more viewers. Okay? Thank you.